You're still watching Standpoint, and two guests are with me in the studio. The former local government chairman in Adeoye, Adeoye, is in the studio with us at this point of Adeoye local government area of Adeoye is in the studio with us, and followed by Adeoye, who is the president, Brighter Future and Change Ambassadors. Of course, he serves as the legislative aide to Shomodo Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Gentlemen, we were talking about the local government autonomy in Nigeria. Of course, we have talked about how local government's autonomy is working in Lagos State, how local governments have brought development to the grassroots in Lagos State, and it needs to spread to other parts of the country. Now, I will go to Adeoye on this matter. Tracking of the funds that local governments receive. How do we do that, and how do we also track the projects that are being done in different local governments?
It's very easy. It's very easy. The federal government every month, they publish what is sent to the state and to the local governments. So it's out in the open. The local government also generates its own revenue. It can be tracked. It goes into the accounts, right? The local government also have a budget, right? They have a yearly budget that they send to the parliament, the councillors, and of course turn into a law. And there's something called the inflow and the outflow, right? So if anybody wants to track the local government revenue, and of course their budgetary performance, you just need to look at the inflow, look at the outflow, and juxtapose it on the budget. Okay. Because for any expenditure by the local government must be consistent with what is in the budget. Anything out of that budget becomes a crime. Okay. So if you want to track any local government for any undoing, just get their budget document, check their inflow, check their outflow, plug it together, and you see what you have.
I know back in the time you've at a point had town hall meetings.
Yes, definitely.
Do we still have that now? We don't really see that in local government.
Frank Fanon once said, every generation out of his own relative obscurity will determine his own mission, either to fulfill it or betray it. We have come and gone. You are giving an account of what you saw and what you read. Likewise, generations that have come after us, you also do same. You are in the best position to check it as a news man and as a media personality and all of that. But quite frankly, for any local government to perform very well, you need to engage your people. I said that earlier, that engaging the people, passing information should be seen as a project. Otherwise, even if you do a road close to his house and the people within the local government are not told, don't know about it, it becomes difficult for them to have trust in the administration and, of course, to pay their levies and taxes and all whatnot. So the local government information department must continuously engage the people through town hall meetings, strategic stakeholders meetings, security council meetings, producing bulletins. Like while I was there, I remember that we used to produce what was called Amuwo Praising. I started Amuwo Praising. It's 10,000 copies every week. It's an A4 paper, 4 pages put together. It's a newsletter. So you put in place what you've done within that week, the project you're doing, right? Ongoing, completed, the completed goes off. People who visited a local government, security agencies, phone number, you have the editorials, you have pictures, you have all of that. We give it out. And how do we do that? We work with the newspaper vendors. They put it at insertion into various newspapers. We have the data of all the resident association CDAs. We serve them. We also serve it through the schools, all primary schools, all eateries, all well-known established points that people go, the police station and all of that. Then even the House of Assembly, we take it there, the judiciary, the commissioners, everywhere, so you get it. Then we have our own, then it was Twitter, right? We have a Twitter handle. Then we have a website, right? Then we have what is called Amuwo Herald. It's more like Chief Dele Momodu's Aviation magazine. It's very colorful. That comes out every quarter. And we print 5,000 of that every quarter. Then we circulate it around and all of that.
So you took time to ensure that your constituents get information needed. We're well informed about your projects and all of that. But for Adeoye, are we doing that now in our various local governments?
Well, I think I know of the state assemblies. They do more of giving feedback, to the people, I think on maybe a monthly or quarterly basis. But I'm not too sure. Okay. I'm not too sure. I can't come out here to say, well, I don't know. I'm not too sure of the local governments, but that is just the way to go. That is the way to go. If you're not carrying your people along, that's why we see declining, in the trust people have in our politics. It keeps declining every year of election. Go and check the results. We have people who don't trust the system again. We don't even know what is going on because they don't know what's going on. That's why they will not participate in whatever you call them to do. So if you engage them, you give them information, frequent updates on what you're doing, what you have done, and what you feel like embarking on. All these things you're doing, it's in the interest of the people. You're doing it for them. You're not doing it for your family. You're spending people's money for the people. So you have to get them to know what is going on at the local government. You're spending their money for them. Even sometimes maybe thinking of doing Project A for them. They might not even need it. If they even need another thing, maybe Project B or Project C. But if you don't communicate to them, you just feel, I want to do this thing because it's good, it's in UK, it's in US. If it's not what they need, you just do it, you just waste.
So this non-communication, how does it affect outcomes?
Number one, I just talked about the declining.
Yes,
trust. The trust and, people will not, if they lose trust in the government, how will you even be happy that you're serving people? They don't know what you're doing in the office. You have to give them periodic updates on what, you have to give them feedback. You have to update them. You have to update them. Frequent, I think we call it a town hall meeting. Call people, call the CDAs, call the chiefs, the valets, let them come, with their people, update them. I plan to do this, I plan to do this is what I have done, this is what I have done. Let them know. Even the bulletin my brother just mentioned, the way to go. They need to know because it is their money. This money is, we call it taxpayers' money. They have the right to know. If you don't do it, it means you're just like you're leading without people. If you're leading without people, you're detached. You're detached. So that's what I would say about that.
All right, so we have seen situations where you walk into the office of a local government chairman and he's not available. You understand what I'm talking about? He's not available, or you get there and you're just not allowed to see him. Can we walk into the local government chairman's office and just want to talk to him or just want to get information?
Yes, you can. You can.
Is it easy to do that?
It's about you giving your time. You have told them that you're going to give your time to them, right? Mm-hmm. When I came in 2008, I'll start my work around 8 a.m. and I close 3 a.m. And I did that for 6 years, right? The only time you don't see me in the office, maybe on a Sunday. Some Sundays I'm there. Okay. Or maybe I go abroad for training, right, or programs. So that was what I put in. There was even a time that the civil servant had to report me to the service commission that I was making them work after 4 p.m. And I said, no, I wasn't making them work after 4 p.m. They chose to stay. And when you choose to stay, there is a reward for it, right? And the only way you could get across to me, you don't need to go through anybody, just send a text message. right? As at that time, my people could get to me on Facebook, text message, and they could, there was one platform again, I'm trying to remember. You just send a message, right? And I always look at it. That is why if you look at my fingers, all the sides are dry because I'm always on the phone, right? Checking and many a time, what I do is that some of these things they're asking for don't really need my attention, okay, but they've put their query there, right, or their request. So what I did was to take that message, I'll pass it to the head of department or the head of unit, right, and I'll type to it that please, and your phone number would be there, call this person, resolve this problem, take a picture with this person and take a picture of that problem and let me know what you've done. So then it was BlackBerry Bow 10 that was in fashion then. Like just as you have your Apple, iPhone 16,
Android phones and all of that.
That was the top of the range. So I bought it for all the head of department and head of units. Okay. Then I bought iPads for all the head of department, head of unit, all the counselors, all the supervisors. So you can't tell me that you don't have tools to work. Then we train them. Then some of them also bought laptops. Even if you have to go to the riverine, do a video of the issue, show a video of before, during, and after the problem is solved. Then when you now send the report to me, I'll forward your report back to the person that have sent the message. That is why I have about 28,000 contacts on my phone. And the way I save those contacts, I'll write your name, where I met you, the day I met you, and all of that, or occasion, like just for me to remember. And all through the time, I have 28,000 contacts, right? So you must just be open to get them. But some people do use, they use what is called, what you call this thing now, a visitors, there's a name they call it.
Logbook?
No, not logbook, a time where you can meet the chairman.
Okay.
You know, they choose maybe a day in the week or 2 days in the week, and they say you can come within the hours of 4 evening or hours of between 12 and 4. So it depends on what works for everybody. But you know, you must understand that I'm from the civil society, right? I have a civil society background. I have a student movement background. So we engage. So engaging people was not a big deal.
So do you also think that the actions of federal or state governments at most times undermine the autonomy of the local government?
Yes, in some places. But in Lagos State, they allow you, right? Nobody, you see, Lagos is very, very proactive and maybe from the background that Lagos is coming from, okay, right? It has always been an inclusive thing, even before the advent of what do you call it now, independence, right? Lagos have always been inclusive. So everybody that have come into governance or government in Lagos have continued with that tradition of inclusiveness, right? But if you go to some areas, they've been very elusive, and it has become a very, very terrible thing for their development. But if they can imbibe the culture in Lagos of being inclusive, let everybody come, regardless of your tendency, regardless of your reasoning, right? Put it on the table, let's engage, right? You can't be getting it right all the time, okay, definitely, as long as you're in this mundane. So you tend to learn from people. And that is why during Asiwaju's time, Governor Fashola's time, cascading down, they've brought this system of a town hall thing, and receiving and feedback and all of that. And that's why the president, many of the time, when the people talk a lot, you know, put their position out there in the social media, he reads it, look at it, and respond to it. It's part of the inclusiveness of the Lagos system.
All right, so let's talk about autonomy and decentralization now. What kind of changes, when I'm talking about, I mean structural changes, are needed to achieve true decentralization?
Okay, maybe I think like some are clamoring for inclusion of maybe INEC in the elections of the local governments. But I know that that's not the way to go.
What's the way?
But we have to start from the elections that bring in the chairman As the structure I believe we need to first put in place. Like in Lagos State, the system we have is one of the best. But in other states, I can speak for them. Like in Anambra State, that since 2003, they've not had any election. We need to have something like a commission, like a national commission that will be in charge of all the state electoral commission. You understand? That will be conducting elections into all the local government. You can't put it under INEC. They already have loads of work to do. Then we need to have like ways to go, the programs. We need to highlight the activities, of the local government. We need to have a book for them. You understand? So that everyone will have a focus. Okay, these are the things I'm supposed to do without, trampling on the activities of maybe other states or the federal government. We need to put everything in place. We are moving towards that area, but we need to divide all the activities of the local, of the states, by removing everything, anything that will cause, touching what has to do with the activities of the state. Then if they are fully independent, the election is being done maybe unilaterally, and we have elected chairman in place, then the financial autonomy that we're looking for will be fruitful and will even be successful.
Talking about elections, are you saying INEC should not conduct local government elections?
INEC already has loads of work. Immediately after the general election, do you know how many court cases they have? They have a lot of cases. Even if you look at the PVC, the PVC, I think it should also work like an ATM, if I'm not mistaken. There's a chip on it. Have you noticed that?
Yes, there is.
They have not even gotten to that level. They have not. Even the cases they say haven't got, they're still battling with them. You understand? So the best thing is to have like a commission in place that will be in charge of. I can't say you stop all the state electoral. No, let them come together to be under that body. Then we can unilaterally have one elections into all the local governments. They'll be in one in charge. They will administer. Then they will be able to monitor the funds coming in, the funds going out. They will have more to do by then. They will have more to do. Not that they will still be in the state. The state governors will still be there, but like a watchdog.
So who's going to be funding them? If you say a commission, all the state electoral commission should be under a commission, who's going to be funding them?
The funding is coming from the federal government. Don't we?
Won't it make the local governments subservient to the federal government, since also allocations are coming from the federal government?
No, I just said something now. The constitution is very clear. It's very clear. This area has to do with the administration, as in the elections. The elections that will bring in the chairman. We have financial autonomy. This is just to bring freedom, to bring development, to bring government more closer to the people. I believe even the state governors should be happy with this. That's the way I think they should be happy with the development. If these things should work the way Mr. President has envisaged it, then we'll be looking at Nigeria in the next maybe few years. Nigeria becoming more like the UK, more like the US, like the Canada. Things are working on their own. We have institutions in place. You can't be merging things. You are here. You've not even fully performed there. You are overseeing this. You want to lord over this. You want to do. Everything should be working independently. The chairman should focus on their work. There should be a commission in place like the EFCC, like the ICPC. If they mismanage public funds, people know where to go to. It is my money. It is your money. You understand? It's our responsibility to be on these people's neck. Don't mismanage our funds. So all these things will work if we allow it to work. We need to put things in place. Everything will work independently and the way we want it.
Ayo, do you support the motion, or do you think INEC should handle local government elections as well?
Well, I have a departure from some of the contemporary things that is tied to what they are put together as a question. What I think should be done is, for short term, middle, and long term, for the short term, like what the president is doing now, he sent a bill to the National Assembly, right, to harmonize all of these things and come up with a commission to conduct election, like the National Assembly people are trying to do right now. But in the long term, will be that we develop a system whereby you have little or no human interference, a technological system. And this system will guarantee the trust of the people, will also put every elected official on their toes.
Can that happen?
It can happen.
We have areas where they not even have stable network.
No, forget about that. It can happen. It can happen. Look, there's a technology called blockchain right now, right? You can develop a system whereby what you feed in cannot be corrupted, right? As long as there's no human interference that cannot corrupt that system. We have data now, right? The bank have data, right? I've forgotten the name of this commission in the federal government. They've gathered a lot of data. They've gathered a lot of data. Plug this data, to INEC. Let all these data come together. Now, when you have that, it becomes an inroad to apply this technology so that even if you come with your INEC card that has that chip, right, you can plug it in. Regardless of that, your thumbprint or your iris. In some countries now, if you go to the Arabian countries, they don't really use thumbprints anymore. They use your iris. And the iris is also domesticated to each and every one of us, right? So if we can gather all of these data, which is very, very possible, I understand that the Nigerian government is about carrying out another census. Now, these census will be technologically driven. Even if you are in Bashiga, right, they will get somebody to go there, get your thumbprint, get your iris, and we can even move to DNA, right? They can get DNA samples, plug your thumbprint, plug your iris, plug your DNA sample into this thing, feed it into the system. You can't get it wrong. So when you come to the system, it's either you plug in your thumbprint, put in your iris, it gives us your data, and you do what you have to do.
Okay, for want of time, I'll just ask one question that we both can answer. What lessons can be learned from international best practices as it relates to local government autonomy?
The lessons will be that we improve on our system, right? Development will be cascaded and will be very rapid. Corruption will be nipped down, dangerously down, because people will understand that if you do it, you spend time, right? And in the local government, they don't have immunity, right? You commit wrong, you're gone. It's not like the state government or whatever that you do it and you continue to be in government, nobody can touch you, right? If you put the cookie jar there, once you touch it, the anti-graft catches you, you're in court. Then we also have to work on our judicial system. There must be a specialized court, because you are going to have, we have 774 local government. There must be a specialized court that will dispense this judicial process in a very speedy manner. And the press must be hinged to it to monitor it. There must be civic engagement, right? Using your phones or what have you. So the more you catch it, the more you throw it, the more others will sit right, and the more we'll get it right.
So Adeoye.
Well, it's very easy. The democracy we're practicing more like that of the United States. So if we are looking towards that kind of country, a good country like the US, then we should do it the way it should. Okay. Let everyone focus on its duties, give everybody autonomy as it has been spelled out in the Constitution. Let's follow the due process. Then we will see the rapid growth and development we require in our nation. We can do it. If you go out there, other nations will tell you Nigeria is rich, Nigeria is good, we are great people. If you go out there, Nigerians are doing, very well out there. They're performing wonderfully well. then if we put all these things in place, our people will not be jackpying. They'll not be moving out. Yes, we'll have people who partner with the local governments. We'll have people who will contribute, immensely to the growth and development of where they grow up. You understand? So, and if people have trust in the government of the day, they would not move out of the country. They would contribute their quota. They also benefit from the system as well, because when the system there's transparency, and then the chairman, they're honest. Everyone has integrity. They will trust the system. They will not move out. They contribute their quota. Whatever they are earning, they will also bring back into the system so as to bring more happiness to the families.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to us at this time on this issue of local government autonomy. Of course, we've had Adeoye, who is the immediate past chairman of Adeoye local government in Lagos State. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Also, we had Adeoye, who is the president, Brighter Future and Change Ambassadors, who's also serving as the senior legislative aide for Shomolu Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, it's been an interesting discussion this morning. That standpoint this week. Remember, you can watch the repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. tonight and at 5 a.m. on Sunday. Thanks for watching. I am Theophilus Elama.